welcome. Let us start off. Welcome each one of you. Good evening. And I'm going forward as per the agenda that was shared with you all on the first day. I promised you all that yes, I would be focusing on the topics in this manner. And again, I have to repeat it that there are certain reasons why I have divided my entire workshop into two parts, one into the basics of the research and the other one with the introduction to the qualitative research. Now, there are some of these scholars who are attending it very seriously, and by now they must have understood what is the relevance of the topics that I have selected out here. So this entire week, except for this particular batch, maybe I have to take another time for all of you so that we all of us are on the same page. Now, the first topic under the basics of the research. Now, this is not the kind of the repetitive sessions that you would see in most of the workshops that are being conducted on the basics of the research. We are supposed to know certain things also which are not being discussed at all in majority of the books that are published in India, basically. However, most probably you will see that there are certain experts or the masters like Saunders is there, David Joe is there, Andy Field is there, definitely. Then I find on the other side also of the world who have started writing on these topics also, which we are discussing. And going forward, I don't know, after looking at or each one of you who is here as a participant right now can go ahead and learn these new things also which are presented out, and then train or even share the knowledge with the others part. So that was my motive. And then I thought, even if I just focus on qualitative research and give it away, tomorrow when you are reading the papers or you are planning to publish, and if these topics have not been discussed, it becomes very, very difficult for us. So I thought, let me go ahead. Karan, my own book is getting published next month, so I would be able to give it to you also, one of my books, wherein all these topics are there. And to make a public announcement to you, there are two parts of the book which is getting published also side by side. So here we go, and try to understand as to why that introduction to the timeline is necessary for us to do the research, or to find out what kind of a methodology can we adopt right from the time. Now, this is due to my own experiences, number one, and plus the discussions that I keep looking forward from the experts across the globe or my own teachers. I learned that yes, these are also the ways in which you should go forward and think about them. So in that way, beginning with this one, I would be focusing exclusively on the timeline right now, and I would be dedicated to focus only and only on different kinds of the timelines that you can find it out, at least when we start off with the research. Now, books have been given to all of you. There are two books of Popper and one book by Kuhn that I have presented out, and a little bit of the other books are also going. I have shared Saunders also. You will understand why Saunders' book I have chosen and what is the reason. And there are some more titles that I have to give it to you in order to understand why these kind of things are necessary for us when we are passionate about, I would say, the research part of it. Now, here you would see this is one part of the research which I really liked it. And after having continuously the discussions and the lessons that I could get from Saunders himself. Now, he's about 65 right now years old. So you can understand the kind of the expertise, and he has been teaching research methodology for nearly 30 years, more than that. He told me 38 years. Now, you see, if he has got so much of knowledge, that means he has given his maximum of his time, to understand all these things. And that's why I started sharing that particular book itself for all of you, so that you can understand how he is discussing and what they are. And this onion is not a complete one. Let me tell you that also side by side. Now, here, if you look into it, the way we are going ahead with the research is from the outer layer to the inner layer of the this particular onion that has been presented to us, and this has been taken from his book only directly. Now, in the first place, if you look at it, two of them have been shaded in purple colors, and one, two, three, four of them are in the gray area of our research pattern, that I should say that most of us should adhere or should understand to take over the research area. Now, the first one, if you look into it, he is starting off with the philosophy. However, even before entering into the domain of this subject, I would say there are certain other things that one should be able to understand as to what exactly was happening before this in the world in reality, and what kind of a things we are supposed to know also. So here I would be taking you all to another slide of mine, which I have been using right from the morning in all the three, and that's why it looks little bit fully covered with different colors and the knowledge of whatever the words you are looking at it. However, if you look into it very carefully, here in I have already started off talking about what research is all about. Let us go back and see first of all, how the research is taking place in the world actually, and what are the various ways we have got to take over. Now, the research area, if I look historically, has been divided into two parts. The way it was started off in the Western world, number one, and the manner it was existing in the other parts of the world, which I will be calling as the non-Western countries. When I talk about Western countries, I'm talking about Europe, America, Canada, Australia on one side, and on the other side, when I'm talking about the traditional schools out here which are present, I'm talking about the eastern part of the world, wherein you have got the countries like India, China, Japan, and then Islamic religion. Also, I would like to enter into it, and the Persian countries, or the Persian, completely the literature that we have got. Now, let me just focus first of all what exactly was happening in the Western countries, so that you can go ahead and understand the realm of which the Saunders had given to me completely to understand it out here. So here you will see first of all that when we are talking about the Western world, what happened? Western world was dominated by Christianity, number one. I'm not talking about the Red Indians, the tribal people, as James Fraser has been talking about. If you look at his book, The Golden Bough, you will see that he is really talking about that particular era also, and the kind of set of beliefs they have got. Now, I'm not talking about those belief sets as of now. However, my focus is more on the Western world, where their only source of the knowledge was based on the Bible. Now, what happened was that when the Bible was given to them, the set of the beliefs that were developed from here, it was based upon this Bible, and through the beliefs that they had, it gave them away what you call it as the knowledge out here. Now, what is this knowledge? Did they give them any kind of new information for them? No, it was not. It was like, studying, going to the church or at home, you are picking up the Bible, you're reading them, you got some kind of a belief set that, yes, this is how the world looks like, and this is what we should do, that we're not supposed to do. And that's the only way that particular knowledge was gained. Now, I'm very apprehensive even to use the word knowledge out here. However, for the sake in which, if you have started reading the books which have been given to you by Popper, which is the classic book on conjectures and refutation, and every person who is seriously involved into research will definitely focus on this particular book that we have got in front of us. Now, if you don't understand it, he is building up this particular story continuously. Even if I show you the contents of it, he is talking about this. And then he said, what happened to Galileo? Now, before Galileo, what was the science it was looking in front of him? So, he gave this one immediately to us so that we are able to know what exactly was happening. So they found that there was nothing which is called as new knowledge for them. There was nothing over there. Then came in suddenly like a vision during, I would say, 1700 or 1600. There, till that time, it was believed. Okay, let me just take up another paint black whiteboard of mine, and maybe I can go ahead and share it with all of you also side by side. Now here, if you look, now the story goes like this. Bible, it showed to us that yes, Earth is in center of the universe, and it was the sun which was moving around the Earth in that manner. So for majority of the years, I would say everybody trusted this particular notion, and they all believed that yes, Earth is at the center of the universe. However, the scientific discovery taken by Galileo, he came up and he said, no, I don't see this is the scenario. So what did he do? He said, I don't believe in this. He came up with a new knowledge about the universe, and he stepped forward and he said that, okay, this is how the universe is looking for me. However, by the time Copernicus came, he added more information. He said that no, it is the sun which is in the center of the earth, center of the universe. Around it, the earth is revolving it. So what did Copernicus do? Copernicus refuted the theory of Galileo. He collapsed it and he went forward and he taken care of it. Later on, when Kepler and all those individuals, I'm talking about another circle, who said that they added on, they said, fine, sun is in between the universe. However, it is not just the earth which is moving. It is basically the other celestial bodies like other planets also that is taking place. Now, if you see the development further, what is happening? When I was there, I was told, when I was learning geography, okay, or the sciences, I was told that sun is there, and I learned all the 9 planets. My very educated mother just showed me the 9 planets. However, now if you are teaching the children, you will see that in schools, they have said that it is not the 9 planets which are moving around the sun. It is only the 8 planets, and Pluto is out of the this set of the planets which are moving around. Now, if you will see what is happening, there are certain changes. Now, when Popper, Kuhn, they all looked into these researches which were taken in the scientific knowledge, then they started thinking, what are the various ways in which we can look into so that we are able to come up with what you call it as knowledge for us. So, the methods that they usually adopted for, because they were all scientists, they were mathematicians, they were talking in terms of the scientific knowledge out here. However, that was not the only way that they were looking up into the scenario. They said that any research work that has to be taken care of, there is a particular way in which you can look into it before you enter into either the qualitative stream or the quantitative era. And what are those things basically? Either Popper says falsification, okay, then he added out, it is not just the falsification. You can criticize it, you can compare it, You can look into the various arguments which have been given to us, and we know how to understand them. For example, when I started off with this particular workshop, I was talking about the timeline, and we will see the different timelines which are there, and why is it that we are not able to focus upon those kind of a stuff and go ahead with our researchers also. And that motivated me okay, rather than just going ahead and talking about simply the qualitative on this one, because qualitative somehow is involved with these things also, not that the quantitative is not. However, my agenda, I don't have the quantitative as of now for the discussions and to understand how the reality is being taken care of. So he says Popper, Kuhn, whose books I have, and they are like the masterpieces, the classics of the research area that we are talking about. They come up and they say that, okay, if you have to focus on the reality which is existing out there in the world, there has to be certain ways in which you are supposed to proceed further in performing a very good research, whether it's a thesis or a dissertation or a future paper for yourself. So there are certain ways in which we need to look into it. Now, apart from that, now I can come over, I can discuss this as the first timeline which has to be taken up very seriously and given by Saunders et al. In their book. And this was published in, I mean, there are quite versions of this book. However, the one that I presented is 2018, if I'm not wrong. Now, in this timeline, what did Saunders say? Saunders says that go from the outer level and come back to the inner level in this way. So the first part of the layer that he is talking about is the philosophies that are existing for you, because after all, this is going to be your doctorate, right? That's why we say it is philosophy of doctorate. Reason, you are the one who is going to develop a philosophy for yourself and then take care of it. However, we will be later on, I'll be showing it to you that yes, there are certain ways in which you will have to understand and then proceed further in order to choose your own philosophical research philosophies that are present for you. Now here, the most popular ones according to them are positivism, then comes the realism on one side, and that's why if you look into here, he has given that kind of a gap. And then he says that we, on the other side, we have got the interpretivism and what you call it as the pragmatism. However, if you look, he has left a lot of spaces in between. That means you have got a lot of things that you can add on into it, and you are able to understand that is these the only schools which are left out, or do we have more of it? Now, I can vouch on it, and I can tell you there are there are some more are there. However, later on when I'll be discussing about the schools of Creswell, then Maxwell are there. When we come to the qualitative, Maxwell is there, then Fetters is also present, and then there is one more person. If you look into it, Creswell talks about 5 approaches. Saunders talk about these 1, 2, 3, 4 approaches he's giving to you. Maxwell will go ahead and he will talk about 6 of them. Michael Fetters, with his mixed methodology, will be talking about exclusively one method, also side by side. Then, given this kind of a leverage, you can, and nowadays I'm seeing in the contemporary times that apart from these 5 approaches, you have what you call it as the feministic studies. You can do a lot of them involving out here. Then, okay, not just the feministic studies, we are talking about the realism. Then we have got the empirical schools, idealism is also there. Then you will find it that yes, there are a lot of things. Action research is also there, not just the pragmatism. Ethics is also there. Then comes your what you call it as aesthetics part of it. So these are the various ways in which you are going to discuss and find out as to which one fits in into your domain number 1. Number 2, in the second thing, if you look into it, he's talking about the approaches towards the research. That is, number one, what kind of deduction you are taking up, and the secondly is the induction. When we talk about, I'll be tomorrow, when I'll be taking up the second session, I will be talking more about the deduction and induction for all of us, and we will see, what exactly do we mean by deducing something, what exactly do we mean by induction, and what are the popular schools that fall into these two approaches that we are taking up during our research areas also. The third one is what they call it as methodological choices that are available for us. Now, why I have dividing that word, because here one is the method and second is the logical things that you will have to understand. So the moment you are coming to this realm, now you're moving away from the purple color and you have entered into the gray color, wherein the first method is mono method quantitative. Now, since it's a quantitative approach, I'm not going to enter into the details about the quantitative studies about us. However, I can just say that mono means a single, and method means you're going to use only one method for yourself. So this is one of your choices. Other choice is pick up with mono method qualitative approach that you can take up and you can be satisfied about it. Next is the multi-method quantitative things that we have got, wherein Neeraj sir is again, I think so. I would say that the most popular person who is right now talking about the multiple methods of doing it in terms of multi-levels, and the way he's coming up with all the schools using PLS Smart and everything. You can see that he is talking. However, this is also not in my agenda, so I'm not going to discuss about it. However, when we come to the multi-method of qualitative, since this 1 month workshop which I'm focusing on right now is more or less like a strict religious introduction to the qualitative research, you should be able to remember that I'm just introducing and I'm only at the first level of my research, introducing the qualitative research to each one of you, and in this particular workshop. So I'm not going to discuss even the multi-method. However, I will just let you know what exactly it means. It means that like these ones, if you look into it, archival research, case studies, ethnographic. Now, later on, you will see that qualitative research itself is divided into two eras. One, which we call it as the traditional school of qualitative research, wherein you get case study, ethnography, phenomenology, grounded theory, narrative inquiry. They all fall under the traditional schools. Whereas if you come to the contemporary qualitative, it is not just these schools that you have got. You have got audio analysis, sound analysis, content analysis, film analysis is there, image analysis is there, then audio analysis is there, website analysis is there. You can go ahead and you can do with the social media analysis also. Then there are what you call it as the cloud analysis, and we will see that is the contemporary style of entering into the qualitative era. Now, here in multi-method, what happens is that you are not just focusing only on one particular school, like let's say on focus group interviews. Normally, when I see individuals talking about qualitative research, they say that, okay, now I have done, this is my quantitative research, and let's go ahead and just because, we have heard about a word called mixed methodology, and we say, okay, I have done this as my quantitative. Let's move ahead with the focus group, and I have conducted the interview, combine them together. This is my mixed methodology. No, it's a completely wrong process of doing the mixed methodology. That is not the way to do it at all. There is a proper technique which is given to us, and that is given through the mixed method. And this mixed method, Michael Petters or one of his colleagues who's going to join us, not this Sunday, the coming Sunday or Saturday, or if both of them are going to give individually the master, they are going to take up the master classes, and you will find it out that yes, we are not even anywhere close to S of the simple mixed method research also side by side. Now, so if you start attending very seriously, and like some of you have commented separately in the private window with me while chatting, and you said that yes, we are very serious with the mixed methodology, and that also should be taken up very seriously as a 1 month workshop, or maybe for 2 months, 2 weeks workshop, and we will see how to go ahead. Once we understand the basics about these things also, then we can talk about level 2. Right now we are just at level 1, then level 2, level 3, level 4 kind of a workshop we can carry forward. So multi-method, qualitative, mixed method, simple, and mixed method complex also. I'll be focusing more on the mono method qualitative, where introductions are being given to you and you are able to understand them. However, most majority of us who have completed the basic understanding of it, you can go ahead and you can do it. For example, experimental studies you can do the survey. Again, in qualitative, yes, you can create your own surveys and you can go ahead into the field, take the notes and talk to those, I should say, the individuals in those societies or NGOs, and then come up with your own conclusions. And we will see, as I'm going ahead with it. Then if you have got the archival research also. Case study is the most easiest way in which you can do the qualitative research. Now, here, case studies, you can write it down in number of ways. It's not necessary that you're visiting a particular company only. Now, for example, I saw this particular movie from a movie called as Fane Khan. Now, I'm one of the pet animals advocate, and I love animals like anything. I'm very close to them. In fact, I had a lot of pets also at my place, so I have that particular bonding with the animals and the environment around us. So, this was on a Facebook one fine day. I saw the trailer given by T series, whereas this particular pet dog was there with the bib around the neck, and they are showcasing that yes, the pet dog was very much easily munching noodles. Now, I got a shock of my life when I saw pet dog eating noodles, and that also with the help of the fork. And I really got attracted, and I was waiting for the release of this movie. Now, I downloaded the movie, and I just have to find it out. And if you remember that particular scene where Aishwarya Rai tells us, she orders Rajkumar and says that कि मुझे भूख लग रही है, बहुत ज़्यादा भूख लग रही है, कुछ खाने को मिल जाएगा. Then he says Maggi noodles, and so I don't know why that movie really branded and promoted Maggi noodles only. And she says, okay. The moment he gave her the fork, and she was about to munch those noodles, and he was about to place it, she said, Ustad. Remember, go back to that particular movie, or I might be showcasing it tomorrow. I have the video with me, that particular scene. I have downloaded the entire movie and I keep watching it. Now, that is particularly for 5 minutes dialogue. And he asked her, Ustad kaun? To my best friend, she says, and कहते कौन है? So then she says, मेरा doggy जो घर पे है, जो pet dog है. So say, Ustad, उसका नाम तुमने उस्ताद रखा है? Then she looks at him very angrily. How dare you? If you are very possessive about your animal, your pet animal, you don't like people commenting it. ठीक है, मेरा अपनी मर्जी है, मैंने क्या नाम रखा है. How can you go ahead and do a comment upon that? And she looks at him in a very ice, she looks at him. He says, okay, you don't have to worry. Then she tells him, अगर तुम जा रहे हो उसको लेने के लिए मैं चाबी दूंगी, लेकिन she goes, and that particular scene, have you seen, she says that pass out एकदम से, and then she rubs her cheeks and everything. Reason, she says that वो तुमको पहचानेगा कैसे? If you are a pet lover, and if you will know, these are all the caring attitude, showcased in that particular scene. So when I did it as a case study, I started off with those different times of that particular scene that was taking place. And then when I analyzed it, I told them that, see, the caring philosophy of the pet owners, in that particular, most of the time they say that the elite class is the only one who's taking care of the animals. Now, if you look in reality whether that is true or not, you can look how many of you are aware that now the insurance companies have started giving insurance to the pet animals like dogs, horses, lion. You have the insurance amount. So the question arises, what is happening now? When I wrote down, I presented this particular paper of mine at JNU. I received the best paper award, saying that, okay, you looked at the movie, which all of us have seen it. However, we did not see it from that angle, that yes, that the differences in that. Now, was that the end of my paper? No, it went over. So the one thing that I had done at that time was the mono. That means I just started off with my case study, I wrote it down, I presented. However, after that, what happened? Then, now when I'm looking during the pandemic time, if you have seen the Facebook and everything, look at the way the millennial children, I would say the millennial individuals, are taking care of the animals in the entire environment. They are saying that we don't want to marry, we want to adopt a pet dog basically, and it's my baby, and I'm the mother. And just look at those videos, being a mother, as she is taking care of her human baby, how she's taking care of that particular animal. Now, I can move ahead. Now, if I'm going to join another method, for example, first I started off with a case study. Then what I would do, I will introduce feminism into it as a caring part of it, and then I will be combining feministic case study. That turns out to be a multi-method qualitative research for me. So, there are different levels also for it. For example, if I'm talking about the partition stories, now the partition is taking place of women who were coming all the way from Pakistan. They have a different kind of an atmosphere, as you can look at the partition that has been taken place between Tibet due to China, and the partition that has been taken place, the stories that you can collect from Bangladesh or even from the Sri Lanka. So, I have all those things. Now, this really happened, and that is another story. Now, you see, qualitative research means building up the story, and that's why here, if you look, he is talking about what you call it as narrative inquiries. Now, this happened, I was visiting Guru Nanak Dev University at Amritsar to attend a 5-day workshop. Then I thought I will stay there since it's a guest house that the accommodation was given to us. So I had 2 more days over there. Now, I could not get the railway tickets booked for myself, so I preferred to travel in the Volvo buses from Delhi to to Amritsar. Now, it was done, the booking, the reservation was done through the online booking. So obviously I had to choose the khirki seat, which is the most popular thing for women. I had to enjoy the travel thing also. Then I saw, the moment I took a seat, there was this young couple who approached me, and they started interacting with me. Hello, ma'am. If you don't mind, are you traveling all alone? Then I just have to look at them. Then I said yes. Then they said that if you don't mind, my mother, who is a bit aged, she's also traveling to Amritsar from Delhi. If you don't mind, can you please take care of her during the travel time? And after that, my brother. I agreed to it. So obviously, females, when they are together, what happens? The conversation starts off. Qualitative means you should be a very good conversationalist, because if you are very good at that, getting the data for yourself, writing, getting your work published becomes much more easier. Very, very easy it becomes for us. So what happened to this lady? Now, she was talking to me continuously because she was aged and I was also there. She shared her dinner with me. Everything happened, and by the time we reached to Amritsar, it was morning 8:30. And then she invited me, saying that, okay, you're staying here for 1 week. So one day I will send my younger daughter. So she will bring you to our house and you can have the dinner with us on that Saturday night. I agreed. So, as she promised, she sent me the car along with her younger daughter, and I was at her home. Suddenly, after that, interacting with her for nearly 1.5 hours in the evening, I saw that she started crying and yelling also. Now, everything was very normal, and that gave me a shock of my life. And I just looked at her, I went near her, I hugged her, and as a lady, I convinced her and I asked her what was the matter, what bothered her. Then, at that time she started sharing a story. And what was that story? It was a memory. She said that their family belongs to Rawalpindi in Pakistan, number one. Number two, one fine day, I think it was one of the days before the independence only, that they had to evacuate the entire city, leaving behind all their belongings, pet animals and everything. On that fine day, the police men came over to their house, and they said that you will have to go to India. So leave all the things, whatever you have got, and just pack it up. You have got only 4 hours of the time to leave for India. Now, this lady had given birth to a baby girl. So I said, then I looked at her younger daughter and I said, is she the one? So that, I can make her little bit come out of that depression mood. She said, no. While coming from Rawalpindi, traveling all the way and crossing the entire Pakistan, Lahore, Karachi, and every area, coming back to India, before stepping into India, she said that there is a river, and I was asked to throw away the Bonnie baby girl. Actually, the day she started off, she just delivered on that day only. So she said that by the time we crossed, it was almost 15 days. So maybe 15 or 20 days, I don't remember exactly. However, she said that I had to throw that girl into the river. So I understood now that, and I just looked at her, because I understood that why she yelled and what was the reason. Now, if you observed that lady, like, then, it gives me the goosebumps even now also. And, when I looked at her, she was narrating the story with the tears in her eyes. However, the memories that were going behind, it was like a picture, because she did not even blink once also. So I understood the seriousness. Then I thought maybe she's feeling guilty over there. However, it was not just the guilty, because the next sentence that she uttered, that means just look into the way she was sharing the story with me. She is sitting here. She went back to those 1947. Okay, step by step she is going. She narrated scene by scene what is happening. Now I'm making up the case also for you. Then she came back again and she said that she threw the girl into that river. And the moment I looked at her, when she said that, looking at your face, I'm remembering that girl. Then I understood that why she was so much attached with me. And I said, it's okay, now forget about that scene. Now think that I'm that daughter. I was saved by somebody, and maybe I'm your daughter only. So, immediately what happened after that, she hugged me. So now can you see the shift that is taking place from her mind? And remember this example, because tomorrow or day after tomorrow, when I'll be discussing with you something else, this scene would be explained, and I'll be coming back to this example which really took place in front of me. Then the moment I told her, maybe I'm your daughter, I don't know, with a smile, so that I can bring her back to the normal length. Then I saw that she just took my hand, she went into her room, she took me along with her, she opened her treasure wala. If you remember, in ancient, in older times, especially, they used to have this treasure boxes, the big chestnuts only. Usko khola usne, and then she picked up her wedding sari. And by the time we reached there, she opened it up. Her daughter-in-law, two daughters-in-law were there, and one of her younger daughter who was not married. All three of the ladies, me, and I saw that she opened this trunk and she took out her wedding sari and she gifted it to me, taking the promise that yes, when I'll get married, I'm supposed to wear this wedding sari. Now, after that, what happened? Then she turned out to be little normal, so that was the satisfaction point of it. Now, why am I sharing this story? This is the partition stories that you will be when you are interacting with certain individuals, you will be saying. However, this particular conversation I never knew will become so famous in my writing. I came back, and whatever she narrated the story, I started putting it down into my notebook. I placed it into my notebook in the form, in the written form, and that turned out to be a historical feministic narrative analysis for me, step by step, to understand as two women who are there. We started off as a bus journey and what exactly was happening. Now, it was not just one paper for me. One was whatever she narrated, I started writing, I published it, got done. After that, now this kind of a scenario where she was going back into the times, and now you will see that after explaining to you that yes, there are archival researches, case studies, ethnographic, the next one talks about longitudinal studies as well as the cross sectional studies. Now I'm not going to okay, here I can just point it out that qualitative studies also are talking about the cross sectional studies, and they are heavily into longitudinal. When you will come to the school of phenomenology, which is again into the traditional part of the qualitative research, you will see that they are highly involved with the longitudinal studies. Buddhism schools, Jainism schools, then you have got the Nyaya schools also. You will see they will be talking more about the longitudinal research work. So this particular scene, one paper, it was like a narrative. Second paper, the way she was narrating the entire story, it was like a memory which was working out, and then simultaneously she was speaking also. So you can see that it's not only the flashback or the memories that were taking place in her mind. However, she is able to even place it out verbally, and she is sharing it. So, this is another paper which can be written as, and called as the phenomenological paper for us, because certain things have been, and once I introduce to you different kind of schools that we can see in phenomenology, you will say that yes, this is the Husserlian school that really talks about these things, and we will understand when I will be coming in to this kind of places. Similarly, now if you will see another discussions, now you can have as many examples as you can of this variety, and you are able to compare it, because I had the occasion of another episode where I was talking to a Bangladeshi maid servant who was working. So one day I saw that she was very low and she was not talking usually. She was not very active in doing the work. So, I just wanted to find out. So, like a person, I went and I started talking to her. What happened to you today? You're looking very low. Everything is okay. Then, she started telling me that today was the day when, we had a lot of problems when Bangladesh and West Bengal were being partitioned, and the way my daughter-in-law was raped, and she was 8 months pregnant. Then that again shook me up like a female. Now I was unable to digest the fact that 8 month pregnancy, number one, number two, she was raped, number three, because those people wanted to take the revenge from this particular family. The way the lady was killed with the multiple I would say knife injuries into her stomach, and how the mother-in-law and the son, both of them were tied up on the chair, and the way they were allowed to observe all these things. Now it really, when I was looking at her while she was narrating this particular story, again made me little bit sensitive. Then I could see the way they were taking care about the entire memories, and the way she was crying, and the cruelty which she has observed through her eyes, it was depicted in her body language. Now you see these kind of a stuff, when you start looking around us, you will find that yes, qualitative research really becomes very interesting for you to write it down and to present it out also side by side. Therefore, Saunders, through this one, he mentions it that yes, when you are entering into the research, Be very careful about all these points that we are taking care. And then comes in the end, the last portion where he talks about data collection. Now, if we are talking about, let's say the this one, what do you call the qualitative research? I can make it up very clear, and I can tell you that yes, in the one that we are talking about, the qualitative analysis, you have got sound analysis, then we have got audio analysis. I can tell you about this also one by one, how they are different. Image analysis, apart from, or you can even talk about, let's say, image analysis. Then we have got textual analysis. Later on February 5th, there is another person. He's coming from the University of California, Philip Adu, who would be speaking about, giving you the introduction about how the contemporary world is talking about the qualitative research. It's not just this much only that we are talking about. Then we have got a film analysis. You can do wonderfully, nicely you can do. And I don't know how many of you have started watching the video that I have presented in the group, to all of you to go ahead. Then comes in the documentary analysis. Now, I'm not going to key the word analysis again and again. Then you have got what you call it as the film have done, documentary, website analysis, video analysis, then audio I have already mentioned to you. So if we start looking at these things, the data is there for you. Then comes your, if you are entering into the field, then the field analysis is also present for you. Textual analysis I have already given to you, and so many things that you can do it now, in the sense that Facebook analysis you can pick up from there. Twitter is one more area. I'm not talking about in a very simple manner. However, building up the stories, look at the way they are talking about these things. Now, in the earlier one, I mentioned about certain other ways in which you can look into your surroundings, and you can talk about, and you can build up those conversations around you. Click photographs, and you will see that yes, apart from these things, you have got ethnography, and I'll be sharing things are there. Then you have got phenomenology is there. Then we have got grounded theory is there for you. Then definitely yes, focus group, this is another one which they haven't mentioned yet. Then coming out here, I can even talk about hermeneutics is there. Then you have got structuralism, which you will see very soon. Apart from structuralism, we have got post-structuralism also side by side. Then discourse analysis, you will see. Now, apart from these things, we have got displacement studies also, apart from partition studies. Now, you will see that there are so many things. Feministic studies, I should not forget about it. These are also there. Now, some of us who are coming from different domains also, you can look into the various varieties. Our environment analysis, I'm not supposed to forget about that. Similarly, if any disaster is happening around me, how should I go ahead and analyze it so that it is looking through the research, qualitative research. Now, can I look into it properly and come up with a solution? You will see that yes, these things are available, and it is up to us that how we are going to look into these things which are available. Now, data, when I'll be talking about again, for all of us, we will be discussing more and more to find out what kind of data are we looking for, and the analysis tools which are there for us. So this turns out to be my first timeline for the qualitative research. Already said that yes, these two schools I'm not going to enter. The rest of it, yes, definitely I'll be focusing up as soon as I'll be coming for these different schools or the choices that I have got in front of me. Apart from that, there is this timeline for the research. Now again, my teachers, when they trained me or groomed me for certain things, And when I started off my journey into teaching, especially after kicking off my industry job, I started working in a private college, which was affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh IP University. Now, IP University was known basically for, discussing more and more about the professional courses rather than the traditional courses that we see around in Delhi University or the other university. Like, for example, BBA, MBA, law, architecture, all five streams of the engineering schools. Then we had another school, yes, the education, the B.Ed program, then pharma was there. Now, in the sense, there were few more schools which were available in order to understand and to treat them as the professional courses for the students, because the moment they earn the degree, they feel like, okay, let us go ahead and start earning. Now, during their tenure in the college or the university, okay, it was mandatory for them to go for and go ahead with industry visits, then do the internships, the projects that they have to enter into it. Now, in the same manner, hiring processes that are there, then the skill development that we take care for the students, all these things were present. Now, why is it I'm talking about all these things? Reason is they go for the industrial visits. Okay, now when they visit an industry, what happens? You should know that any industry, when they come to know that yes, some students are coming along with the teachers, they want to promote or give away their marketing material, which is available to them in the form of flyers, brochures, magazines also are there. And in sometimes, like for example, if you go to Coca-Cola company, they will be giving them the goodies. Okay, so those goodies are also available for them. Now, if they go to Parle G company, they get the goodies again in the form of different kinds of bakery products or biscuits or anything, which means that they are trying to showcase that, see our company. Now, when we went to Ahmedabad and visited Amul milk was there, the flavored milk was there, the raw milk was there, then the curd, mishti doi, and the chocolates. I mean, I was amazed to find, see the kind of the chocolates that they were giving to us over there, and complete boxes because they were present. Similarly, Coca-Cola, they gave us the bottles also for different flavors. Same is the case with the PepsiCo. Now, why am I talking about these things? Do you think, okay, this is on one side. One day it happened that one of my MBA student, she came and she showed me her master thesis. In this if you are doing a post graduation, you're supposed to submit a master thesis, and she was very happy. And me being a researcher myself, I was very happy to see an MBA student coming and showcasing to me, and I just flipped over some of the pages. I started asking her the questions just for the heck of it. Now, the moment I started asking her the question, I saw that she was mum. So ultimately, I had to ask her, what happened? Why is it that you are not able to give me the answers for your question? Her answer was basically, when she told me that, ma'am, I am basically not able to answer you because this was taken away from the what do you call this, photocopy machine wala who was there, and I just paid 5,000 rupees and I got this thesis from that. I just looked at her. I said that you are unable to answer me. How will you answer the invigilator who's going to take your viva? So she said that, ma'am, maybe you and other teachers can help us now. So what did we do? I asked her, you went to Mother Dairy, right? And you came back and you showed me that, yes, you have got so many things that as goodies you have got from that company. She said, yes. So I said that, can you do something to these flyers, the brochures or the material that she got it from there? She said, yes, ma'am, I can do it. So immediately we have to give a training to them through the NVivo, which is the simplest of the softwares that are available. And you will see that not only in India, even in other countries also, NVivo is given as a training to all the postgraduate students. They know in and out of it. And therefore, when some of you asked me the question, do you think that I should use in vivo at the PhD level? Now, I'm very apprehensive about it. Reason, I'm expecting a very serious work from a PhD scholar. So, doing in vivo kind of a thing, a simple kind of a thing, is not going to help you out. So, though, it's up to you how you want to utilize in vivo as a software. I'm not against it. However, this is something which we give away the training reason. In my orientation workshop, I have shown to you the differences between Max QDA, Atlas TI, and NVivo, all these things. And in this workshop, I have told you, apart from these three, already three are there, and 15 more softwares which I'll be showcasing. And maybe after completing my basic ground understanding of the research, I'll be highlighting and giving you the hands-on experience either through me or through the individuals who have been invited for those introduction to the different NVOs, which means you are going to see it. Therefore, do not ever waste it. Some of you who are the teachers and some of you who have got the juniors, always take their help to make you get it. Reason, you can give it to them in the form of small projects. Ask them to do these small projects for you. One can do the image analysis, other one can go ahead and do the textual analysis, other one can think about the design analysis of that particular flyer or the brochure, other one can go through the website and do the video analysis or the audio analysis of the leaders who are speaking about their own company. Now these 10 students, if they have done these 3 or 10 different kind of work, combine them together, and you yourself have got the major portion of it right now. Now look how you can fit in, and you can go ahead and do another level of the qualitative research work for yourself. And that's how I was telling you that this is the second kind of the timeline that I'm talking about here. Third one, that if you will see in the timeline of the research, is your areas that you're coming in. Now, if, for example, I'm coming from the marketing and international business, that is my area. Okay. Now, when I was doing this one and I gave the final viva, the first question that I was asked was, can you name one of the classical books that is being given to you to specialize in the field of marketing? Of course, yes, I know. It was none other than Philip Kotler. Next question that was prompted to me was, okay, tell us now, okay, you're talking about Philip Kotler and you have read about his book, how many chapters are there? Okay, I gave the answer. Okay, which is your favorite chapter? Okay, I gave the answer also. All right, now, did you see something missing in it? Then I have it. My answers were ready because that was the era when Philip Kotler, whatever exposure was given to him, he has written it. However, this is the time of digital world. So I told them that yes, digital marketing is missing. Digital marketing is missing means what? The digital wallets are missing. Digital wallets, and now we are into the era of bitcoins and the other things also, like for example, cryptocurrency. So forget about this one now. How is it the changes are going to be developed? And now instead of the cryptocurrency, are we talking about something else? Also side by side. So, if you look into these things also side by side, this also turns out to be your another area which you are moving towards the research, and you know very seriously how to take care of it. Now, after the area, I have kept this gap. Reason, one area goes to what you call it as critical thinking, and this one I would be talking in more in depth, I would say tomorrow, not as of now. I'm just introducing to you, and I purposely I'm not going to cover critical thinking because it's a huge area again, and it will take maybe another as a workshop. Maybe I can introduce it. Similarly, there is another domain that needs to be introduced out here, so that you are able to choose the philosophies of research for yourself. And now, when we are talking about the philosophies of research, one is, I have already given to you the Western concepts of it, where they are talking about positivism, interpretivism, operationalism, then comes your realism. There are varieties of the schools that you have got. Now, corresponding to this, right opposite to them are the Eastern philosophies also of the research that we have got in terms of Jainism, Buddhism, then comes your Advait Vedant, Bhagavad Gita. There's so many things are there. The moment, like for example, right now, one of my research areas that I have taken up currently is on temple food. Now, when I'm talking about the temple food, this took place around 3 years, no, not 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I visited Kurukshetra. Now, when I visited to Kurukshetra, I was taken to a temple, that is Tirupati. That was one of the branches of the Tirupati that was presented out at Kurukshetra. And when I was taken out, everything was happened. I mean, it went off very well. My darshan, my puja, whatever it has to be done. While I was stepping out, the Panditji ran back and he said that, "Ma'am, this is your prasadam." So I just looked at him because I already had the curd rice over there and the pongal. So I was thinking, what else is this prasad that was given to me? So it was a white box, the plastic box, 200 ml box. It was there, completely closed with a lid. And I was carrying a handbag. I just put it into my handbag and I came back to my room because I had to rush back. And at 2 o'clock in the night, I was feeling hungry and I had to open this box. And at that time, I observed the box. It was written that I opened the box. First of all, there was this big, big laddu that all of us know from Tirupati, that the traditional, the brand of Tirupati is nothing but the laddu that was there. Apart from this laddu, because it was 2 o'clock in the night and I was munching this laddu nicely, I saw what was written on the box that was given along with this laddu. It was the post office of Tirumala, which had joined up the Tirumala. Tirumala means the Devsthanam trust, which takes care of the Tirupati and everything. And it was flashed in big, bold letters and printed in red color. And then it said that we are also serving with these boxes, even to the foreign countries. So I was looking from the perspective of the management student. First, Tirupati. Now I am a South Indian. I have already told you all. When I was young, for my mundan, I had to go to Tirupati. At that time, it was like every devotee who was coming, 4 laddus and so many of number of vadas which were there, which is again popular, was given, and that memory was still there in my this thing. Now, 2 years ago, when I visited after a very long time, I visited Tirupati because I had to offer something over there. So when I went over there, I saw the major changes. First, the online darshan booking from Delhi. Then, when I went over there, there are counters are there completely. It has become a commercialized center, and no more 4 laddus. If I give them that coupon, with that coupon, only 2 laddus, no vadas, nothing. Then I asked them, "Sir, can I purchase?" They said that no, ma'am, with one ticket, only 2 laddus are only given. Then I saw, when I was a child, my father took me to the place where those laddus were being prepared, and I was freely roaming about. However, now when I went after that, I saw a huge enclosed building. It's a huge building, and I could even smell that laddu, the frying of the kaju and the elaichi also. The memory was still there, hitting my mind again and again. It was a perfect scenario for me. And not only that, I'll be telling you some more as to what I could see in Tirupati as the changes. So this was turned out to be a great commercialized business. What was a simple temple initially. So my as a management student, again, my encounter was Tirupati was able to do. What about the Udupi Krishna Mandir? You go to Udupi Krishna Mandir, again, you have the langar is free for you. Otherwise, the prasad and all you will have to purchase. Okay. So 2 temples are covered. Then I went to Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is famous for Mahabhog and the Mahaprasad also. However, unfortunately, they were unable to give away outside the what is this place where Jagannath Dwarka was present over there. Now they were unable to serve it. That Mahaprasad, if you go there, you cannot get that prasad in freely. No way you can get. Like if you go to Tirupati or any of other temples, the food is given as free for you, where you sit either in the langar or you're taking care of it. However, at Jagannath Puri, you have to pay around, if you want to take, they will ask you rice and dal, 150 rupees. Okay, rice, dal, and a sabji, then so much. So, there are seven, you can go to the YouTube, and I was amazed to find out that yes, these kind of things are also there. So, there the prasad is prepared in seven pots placed one above the other. And that was they don't prepare it in any of the utensils. That was the best part of it. It was the earthen pots only, which were placed one after the one above the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they cook it in this way only in their kitchen. Because I entered the kitchen to see how this prasad, because as per the records, if you see it in you on YouTube, they have showed that the food does not get cooked here. The food gets cooked at the topmost of the this particular arrangement of the pots, and I was amazed to find out. And then I asked them, what happens once you are selling? So the if I buy this entire thing, I have to pay some amount, because different dishes are prepared. And then I asked them, what do people do with these earthen pots also? Are they throwing it away? Because you have purchased it, so either you take it all by yourself, or you can throw it. Then they showed me, they said, no, it is not like that. Now imagine that this is on one side of the temple food. Compare it. Now that is another qualitative study, Mumbai, the Bawala. Now, if you see in Jagannath Puri, the entire system of these earthen pots, they carry, and the arrangement are made in small shops are there, where individuals are sitting, attracting the customers who are ready to, buy from them. So the Mahaprasad, they carry it after the bhog, and then these utensils, all the seven utensils together, in different ways, they are carried and given away to these chambers, where the individuals are. So here you will see that entirely a different kind of management and the business that was taking place. Now this attracted to me a lot. Now the same prasad which was given to us freely is no more a free item. It's not a free commodity. It has become a business item for you, from which on a daily basis they are looking forward how much of profit the temple is earning. Go to Vaishno Devi, or even Banaras, where you have the Annapurna Devi. Go to Mathura and see the way the temples, in the name of the temple, what kind of entrepreneurship, what kind of startups have come up over there, and the kind of the businesses which are going around. Now, for me, why this is necessary? Because I'm observing. Day after tomorrow, when I'll be introducing to you another technique, where how to even look at different ways for to do your own qualitative research work, you will be understanding the level of the observations which are required for you. And not only that, if like I went over there. Now if you go to Golden Temple, this is the area. And I was amazed initially. For the first time when I visited, it was Golden Temple, few shops were there, and then you go to the hotel or whatever it is. However, when I went after a long time again to Amritsar, and when I saw it was 24 by 7, the entire area was open. It is highly lit area. Individuals are roaming about freely. There is no security. I mean, policemen are there. However, there is no need for you to feel fear or scared about that. The kind of the businesses. Now, leaving the holy shrine here, the Amritsar, you will see all the shops out here. Now, have you gone over there? And if you will see the entire center, the way it has become a commercial area again, and the way they are selling the products, including the clothes and everything over there. Now, it was amazing for me to understand that Golden Temple as a tourist center why it attracted. Now you see, I'm moving from the business management, entering into the travel destination also. It's a very popular, people from Canada, they book it over. And if you go there, and there is a lot of things that you can really look into it from the what I call it as the qualitative perspective. Here you have got a partition museum. Go into the partition museum. If you are a lover of qualitative research, every photograph that is present, which involves the what happened during the partition, to animals, to human beings, to the ladies, to the children, to the environment, everything, it has been captured in the form of the photographs. You can sit and you can do a lot of photographic analysis, or I would say understanding the environment, what kind of damage was done to the environment during the partition time. I'm talking about in Amritsar, the Partition Museum, which means Pakistan and India on one side. Go to West Bengal, Kolkata, there you will be finding a lot of things. You know, you can interact with people who have fled from Bangladesh. They entered into, West Bengal, and the way they are settled over there. And not only over there, now I'm apprised by one of the participants that, yes, ma'am, there are these areas where you can talk about. So, you know, if you look into these scenarios, it's a perfect way that you can go ahead and you can continue with your qualitative analysis in terms of let's say narrative analysis, historical, and I mean there's so much to do, actually, I have to tell you that. And if you are a traveling kind of a person, or interacting with others, you just have to look and see, you know, how much of things are available to us in terms of the qualitative data for us. So here, when I'm talking about those philosophies of research, you yourself will be understanding how important it is, and they turn out to be your reasons for doing that particular research. Now, if you are able to understand that, yes, this is my area and these are my research, then you will be able to understand and find it out that, yes, these are the ways in which I'm supposed to do it, and these are the ones that I have got, and let me proceed further into the qualitative area. Now, it's not like that, individuals keep questioning me. Okay, qualitative, okay, I have done this much, so can I go ahead? These are my questions, these are my hypotheses, can I do it? No. And Karan, this is where your answer comes in. It is not that randomly you are able to come up with the hypotheses. I would say in qualitative, no hypotheses, it's more of the questions over there. Now those also, we call it as aims. Now when I'll be coming for the qualitative study, you will be saying that they'll be asking you, what are your aims to do this particular qualitative research? So, you know, you are going to talk in terms of that, and we will see how to understand it. And that is where, you know, the editor or the publisher, wherein you are giving away your paper, a qualitative paper, and if you have, instead of aims, if you write it down hypotheses, you're gone. The paper itself, in a very good journal, in simple journals where you are giving away 15,000, 18,000 rupees, you can nicely publish. Maybe you can publish, I would say, if you are filthy rich person and if you have got that amount with you, I think every month you can go ahead and you can publish a paper, give the money, and your paper is published. However, will that going to saturate you, or will that make you happy? No. So you have to go in a proper manner, trying to understand that, yes, these are the ways in which I have to carry forward and go ahead with my qualitative. Now, if I just give you a glimpse of it, wherein you will be seeing that, when you are talking about the qualitative research, there are about 8 methodologies that we are going to look even before you go ahead and say that, yes, this is my approach for a qualitative. What are they? Differences between universals and particulars on one side, you will be finding it out. The second one you will be seeing is the a priori and the a posteriori. People are talking about in their papers, they write it down. However, how about us? Do we know the meaning of a priori and a posteriori? Then comes the division between deduction and induction. None of us have even heard about a simple thing that yes, you have prepared a questionnaire, and that particular questionnaire has some sentences in it. Now, after giving it away to your respondents and getting back the responses from them, have you changed these sentences into statements? Now, if you look at very good, I would say the what do you call the theses which are published across the globe from well-known in universities, you will see that the students, they don't write the word sentences. They are talking about statements. How many of us really know what statements are? Number one. Number two, in our own research, when you are taking again moving ahead, do you talk about falsification as Popper and Kuhn has given to us? Now tomorrow, when I again join up around 10:30, I'll be showcasing to you what Popper is telling us and what Kuhn is telling to us, basically, in terms of the research that you are doing. How many of us really go ahead and falsify the theories which are present, or even I would say know about these techniques also before you go ahead and even distinguish between them? For example, how to use the word paradoxes. Then you are coming up with the dilemmas, different kind fallacies which are there. Now, when I look at a particular paper, I know what the person is presenting as his or her argument. If you read a paper from the international author, you will see that very nicely they have explained that this is my argument. Okay. And now if they have presented their argument, then go ahead and look for the fallacies. Why is it that we are not looking for the fallacies? And now if you will see, and this is what exactly I was telling in all my 4 sessions throughout the day, that a good paper which comes from a good journal, I see it not to be less than 25 papers, 25 pages, I'm sorry. Or if you see Elsevier one also, a good paper, not less than, see the font size in which the Elsevier publishes the paper. That paper is not less than 5 to 6, or even it goes max to max 10 to 8 to 10 also. MDI papers, have you seen their font size? And look at the number of the pages that they're writing, and look at the words that they talk about. They would be using the words like fallacy, comparisons, dilemmas, paradoxes. Now, under fallacies itself, we have got 116 varieties of it. How many of us even know one of them? Dilemmas, there are around 10 dilemmas in which I can find it out. If an argument has been given, there are 26 ways in which deductive arguments can be constructed. Now, even we should know, even one of them also is absolutely great for us. Now, similarly, inductive ones, there are 30 of them are there. So how many of us are really knowing about them? Now, similarly, refutations. If you are reading a paper and you say, I refute a specific theory, I refute a specific concept, I refute a specific model that has been developed, there are around more than 200 varieties of them. So, when we are talking about it, now, for example, let's say I visit Karan's house. Now, Karan is aware of it, and I hope he's a North Indian, and he also thinks about it, that yes, Ramni ma'am is coming, so let me go ahead and prepare. I know that either I can offer her tea or I can offer her a cup of coffee. Okay. Now he is under this assumption. Now, when I in reality go to his house, he asks me, ma'am, tea or coffee? I tell him very nicely, sorry, Karan, I don't take tea. And then I tell him, okay, Karan, I don't even take coffee. He is now in dilemma. Now, what am I going to offer her? Completely. Now I know, when I was talking to somebody and I told them, so they said tea. I said no. Then the next question was coffee. I said no. Then you're going to take green tea. I said no. Then juice. No. Then shikanji. so this is how they are talking about, and they go around about and talk. Now, for example, let's say another example, the choices are between tea or coffee or juice or the soup. The thing is that I'm not taking any of these things also. I'm not interested in tea, I'm not interested in coffee, I'm not interested in juice, I'm not even interested in soup. So the person is in dilemma. What is it that I should offer her now? So this is also gone. Now, in the same manner, we can look at the constructions that are they are taking care in terms of the, and I will show you how the knowledge development is taking place, and why these things are necessary for us when we are entering into the realm of the research. These are the grounding works that we are taking care of it. So sometimes it happens that yes, we are into so much of involved into other things that we forget the basic things that are necessary for our own research area on one side. Then the next part that I really, this I have completed with all of you, and a lot of individuals will be talking in terms of the research from here, in what way we can carry forward. Now, this slide is very important for us because how the knowledge is being formed actually. Now, Popper in his book, which I'm not going to introduce his book right now, however, I can just tell you he is talking about two things. One, the conjectures that he is talking about. On the other hand, he says we have got the realm of the refutations also side by side. Under conjectures, he says that let us go ahead and talk about falsification. Now, falsification, unless and until you are not aware how to change your sentences into statements, translate the actual statements into the statement, and then talk about their truth or falsehood. Statements, the sentences are never true and false. Now, for example, when you are presenting or writing a paper or a thesis, you will simply say that yes, my sentences are true and false. Now you have gone over there because the sentences, remember, are never true and false. They are either correct or they are wrong. Simple. That means you need to do this groundwork also of changing into statement, come back to your truth and falsehood out here, and then carry forward, because once the translation has been done, there are certain techniques in which you are also involved into going ahead to understand what is this falsification and what is this truth that they are talking about. Now, Popper was very much interested into the falsification, and he said that this is how the scientific domain. Now, to come back, what do you mean by scientific knowledge? Something which is very systematic. How? Let us see how the scientific knowledge goes about. You know that a little bit of sciences, you have got a theory, and what do you do with this theory? The formula, everything is there. Then you say ki, okay, I'm going to perform this experiment, and through this experiment you give away your observations at this level, and you come to the conclusion, and you say that yes, whatever the person has said earlier, the theory that you have got the same result. If you have got the same result, is this going to contribute you in any way for your knowledge development? No, there is nothing. So observations are there, conclusions are also there. Then you are refuting that, saying that see, when I perform the same experiment, these are the changes that I have got. So the changes, if you are able to see, that means that you are able to do some kind of a contribution, maybe in the form of a concept, maybe in the form of a theory, maybe it can be in the form of a model, or it can be addition to an argument, or the comparison that you are doing it, or the criticism that you are taking care. Any of these things will be entered into your intellectual circle of the contribution. Okay, on one side. On the other side, later on I would be explaining to you how the research departments have been I mean, not the department, I would say research areas that we are talking about is into divided into two parts basically, and why that continuum has to be created, and how you can go ahead and bridge that continuum also side by side. So Popper, in his work, through the help of the conjectures, is talking about falsification. Then he talks about and says that you can criticize it. The criticisms, you cannot do it. Just like I can say, oh, I watched this movie. I didn't like the hero. I didn't like the heroine because of our hairstyle. No, there are two or three tools which are given to us in order to criticize it and to find out how those things are valid or invalid, sound or unsound at that time. You can do the comparisons of any of the 4 5 theories or models, or you can say the concepts, and say that yes, this is how the thing. Maybe while you are doing these comparisons of 4 5 things, you land up with the fifth one and say that okay, I saw this thing to be missing and this is my contribution. Fine, okay. Then you are also into the realm of arguments. I'm not talking about the arguments from the legal perspective. In legal domain, it is called as what do you call litigation. You don't fall as an argument. So argument has a particular structure is there, and while every individual is constructing an argument, maybe you, me, Karan, whosoever is there, when they are constructing this kind of argument, definitely yes, other person can identify the fallacies, and then if you have identified the fallacies and everything, there is what you call it as the refutations. Falsification means the existing theory is that you have falsified and you're moving and coming up with a new theory. Then what happens? Somebody else will come up and they will say, okay, no, this theory is wrong, and this one is the new one that I want to carry forward and go ahead with that. So here is the way in which he had come up, and he says that in order to use all these things, you need to first of all go ahead and understand these 8 things that are necessary. One, the difference between universals and particulars. When he is talking about universals and particulars, he is telling us, is it in the form of all swans are white just because you have seen? It may be possible that somebody will come and tell me, no, Ramani, swans are not white in color. I have seen a green color or a black color. So what happens? My universal statement has gone, because I know that all swans are not white in color. In the same manner, can I come and conclude through my statement, no swans are white? Okay. Now, in the same manner, some people can come up and say, "Ki, some swans are white." Okay, fine. That you are telling me that yes, that means that some swans are there which are non-white. So it can take the color of black, green, blue. I don't know what other things would be available for us. In the same manner, when you are talking about this, other person can come up and tell me that some of the swans are there which are not white in color. So this differentiation between all the 4 things is again something which we need to know and understand it, and maybe later on we will be able to understand tomorrow when I'll be able to make you take you through these differences that are given to me. Same is the case a priori. Kant is the one. In fact, I promised the other group that yes, today I will be sharing the book by Kant, and that is Study for Pure Reason. And all of you should be able to read those 10 to 15 pages in order to understand certain things as to why these things are taking place. Then comes what you call it as the noumena and phenomena. We will see what these are. Then your own experiences that are there. Then the major difference comes is the subjectivity and what you call it as the objectivity. The way I look at a building, maybe it is very different way in which you are looking at that particular, let's say, a building. It totally differs. Now we will see tomorrow how to understand these things also, if I have to go ahead with the kind of the research I'm looking forward. Now you will see some of the schools. Now why am I supposed to know all these things? Because the schools that you are going to select finally will be based upon the concept of either the truth or what you call it as the reality. The reality is this one. Now, if you are looking at this reality, then there is something else that you need to understand and proceed further. So, this is how I was thinking that yes, I would love to share these things also before entering into the realm of, again, I'm reiterating the, what do you call, the qualitative research part of it. Now, apart from that, this is also something which I'll be doing it tomorrow, not today. This is not the agenda for me to take care. So at least one should remember that yes, these two things that you have got, the books that I have given to you on conjectures, number one, which is given by Karl Popper, and the chapters I had already marked out, and please go ahead and read at least portion of it so that you are understanding it. Similarly, this is his second book that we are talking about, and that is on the logic of the scientific discovery by him. Now, this is the very popular book in the realm of the research. So you should be knowing it so that when you write a very good paper, you can use certain sentences from here, what he has to say. Then we have got Thomas Kuhn, who is popular, known for the paradigms. He's the one who started off the discussion of paradigm shifts for us, then talking about the scientific discoveries and the anomaly. I did not even use these words. I just talked about the fallacies, dilemma, then paradoxes. I discussed about it, but anomalies I did not. So here comes our great Thomas Kuhn, who discusses about the paradigms in the nature of the scientific knowledge that we are talking about, and then coming up with the revolutions. Why the nature, and there has to be scientific revolutions for us. What do you mean by revolutions? It's not just the movement of certain things, however, creating certain things which is going to be very good. So tomorrow, when we will be meeting again around 12, 10:30 in the night, I will be discussing about what Popper meant, and what Kuhn is talking about the paradigm shift, and how you are allowed to use these words in your own research work also side by side. So this is what I wanted to take care about it when I was discussing about the timeline of the research, giving you a very short introduction about only three varieties of the timeline. In fact, there are more which I could not do it due to the lack of the time that I have got. However, these things are really important for all of us to remember. And this is what exactly I wanted to talk about the what this one the about the timeline of the research right now. Tomorrow, when we will be meeting again, I'll be talking about more about these things also side by side. Now, this thing I have said, Karan is saying in Tokri they serve you. It's wow, 12 layers. I even saw. Of course, yes, in Tokri they serve you. It's not just the Tokri that they serve in. They take the money, and individually the Pandit is responsible. The Mahant, they call it there. You just hand over the money, and he will ask you to stay at one place. He will go and he will get all the seven matkas which are there in different sizes and in a particular tokri. Yes, that is the tokris are used to take these pots from the main what do you call prangan in Hindi and in the Sanskrit. In English, it is basically the central area from where the food is prepared, the kitchen, to the area where the food is being sold. So, they send it to you not in 12 layers, Karan, it is in 7 layers. You can have a look in on YouTube, and I'll be showcasing to you over there. Also, they have given to you already the thing, and I was very much interested. Do you have a paper on this table? Of course, yes, I have written and I presented. In fact, I did it as a systematic literature review on the temple food, and in one of the conferences, no, three conferences, I presented my papers, and I bagged the best prize, best paper award also, and that was on ecofeminism, temple food, number one. Number two, the entrepreneurial commercialization of the temple food, that also from the prasad to the branding and making it. Like for Tirupati, the laddu is basically the what do you call, the brand, and it's now a heritage. Now anywhere if you talk about Tirupati, they will remember only the laddu more than anything else. So you have this kind of a things also presented out. And then one more thing that I did was during the pandemic time, how the ISKCON temple with their basic khichdi, because I myself suffered from the respiratory COVID, and because it was my first meal was from a gurdwara. In fact, they nicely packed and they got me the rotis, and every day, afternoon and in the night, the lunch and the dinner was presented by the Gurudwara. Later on, because I'm associated with ISKCON temple, so in the place where I'm living, they understood and they started selling, not just selling, however, selling in the sense that sending the food to me from the ISKCON temple, and it was so yummy, and I really liked it. And the society where I was living, so I saw Gurudwara, which started off. Then I saw ISKCON, which was giving away. Anyway, ISKCON to gives the khichdi every day to any person who would like to do it. However, especially for the COVID, so that they are not cooking at home, they started giving us the food in appropriate plates and everything. So that was one more thing which I really liked it a lot. And then if you look at basically the other temples also slowly started off with Buddhist temples also, they were giving the free food. And societies also, like I stay in a society, and I was able to understand and find it out basically how the women to the COVID patients, they were giving away. In fact, they were asking whether you want to eat this breakfast or this breakfast, the different item. And then I saw later on, after the COVID time, the lockdown was over, how the same ladies, irrespective of their background, they were not into the what do you call that, so-called catering services or hospitality education. They have never done at home. How the simple food turned out to be an entrepreneurial work for them. So if you will see these kind of things which are happening during, and that's why I said you should be very careful. When I looked at Tirupati, I was amazed. When I went to this place, I was totally zapped to find out. Now when I go to Mathura, from house to house, if you go, like if you're walking from one temple to the other temple, you will see that people are offering you freely the charge, the lassi or the butter, everything, saying that कि नहीं हम तो घर पे बनाते हैं, आप भी खाइएगा. लेकिन when you go to the temple premises, you will see that how well they have started up with their business outlets basically. So yes, Rajesh sir, I would be sharing it, those papers and everything. I don't have any problem in that. So this it was something which I really enjoyed doing it on one side of my paperwork. On the other side, because of the animals, pandemic again, really with the millennials, I was very very happy to see that they started adopting those street dogs, irrespective of from where the animals were coming in. They were not just looking for a perfect breed, they wanted to adopt. They were feeding the animals, special care was taken during the pandemic time, and that was very good, which I really liked it. So these are some of the things that when you are doing the qualitative study, every experience of yours gives you idea up to what to do and how to approach, and go ahead and start writing. And that's why one of the participants is not here in this particular time slot. However, if you will see, she is almost interested in writing and writing. So I told her, your day of writing into the qualitative research begins on the first day of your workshop. You should be able to go ahead and start jotting down all these points and look at your environment around you, the changes. So both Popper and Kuhn, they say that Observations are the main thing. And there is another expert who would be joining us up for the master class, and he would be talking about the importance of the observations in your own research, whether it is going to be your quantitative or a quali paper. Since it's a master class, so I did not hesitate that particular title. I told him, okay, sir, you are most welcome to speak on that and listen to the kind of the examples. And he has around 22, he would be sharing the papers, which I'll be giving it to you one day before the his master class, and then you can enjoy the session with him also side by side. So our experiences that we are talking about in due to these realms which are coming in, and slowly the way they will be taking you towards your qualitative research, you would be fascinated. And these are the natural ways in which you are supposed to know that nobody should come and tell you, okay, this is it, now you do it. That's the most artificial way to do it. Look at movies, Jodha Akbar. Now, when I wrote about that Fane Khan, my next paper on animals was this one only. First, I started off with Fane Khan movie, the animals. Second, I started off with Jodha Bhai Akbar. Third was the Bahubali. Remember when the queen, the princess, takes for them for the boar hunting. Jodha Bhai and the conversation between Jodha Bhai and Akbar. Now, similarly in Padmavat, when she's hunting for the animals. Now, look at the way they are taking care of it. These are the multiple ways in which you can look into certain things, and you can have a understanding that yes, what is the importance of those qualitative research that we are talking about in our areas, especially whatever areas it is. So I have already given to you so many. You can look into it and see how they are taking care about. I've just given you some of them. Displacement. Now, for example, there was this particular book which I'm very much fascinated again. One is by Mahashweta Devi's book on breast stories, which was part of the curriculum which had to be taught to the students of the law, number one. And against it, I'm forgetting the writer's name. Otherwise, the title of the book is The Man Who Refused to Dance. Now, if you look at both the stories, the textual analysis, if you are able to understand and take care about what it is happening, and look, like for my mother and my father, when they came for the first time to Delhi from Andhra, my mother tells me, it's a beautiful memory that she always used to tell me that I was so scared to step out of the my room also. I just looked at her. I said, why? What happened, mom? Then she told me that I was scared because the landlady used to catch hold of me, and she used to talk to me in Hindi. And my mother is a typical South Indian, and I can understand when she came all the way from Andhra, she could not understand the Hindi language. Even now, before her death, also, I saw that she had that typical South Indian accent. She was never ever able to change her accent, also side by side. So these kind of memories, when we look into it, you will be able to understand and enjoy those kind of things when you are writing, especially doctors. For doctors, so it's an amazing thing because every patient is a qualitative paper for them. Now I keep looking at them, the way they interact and with the patients basically. And for them, every patient, when they come up with the qualitative paper, it's mostly the phenomenological work that they are looking forward. And that's why you will see every doctor who comes is not only jotting down, they go back and they start noting down certain things about that patient. How the patient feels, especially when they are in the emergency, when they see the doctor, the kind of a reliefness that you can see on their faces, especially. And when they are outside the rooms, especially from the emergency, and they are into those private rooms, what kind of a interaction they have with the doctors, especially, and why the doctors always come up with a smile while they are talking to the patients. Now, these are wonderful things, that if you are there in the hospital along with your own family member and you are able to see the entire connectivity. There are wonderful papers again, which, the nurses, the senior nurses and the junior nurses debate is always there. And that is, can they measure the pain of the patient? The junior nurse always comes, and it's a dilemma, it's a complete dilemma for them. The junior doctors comes and says that yes, every day we go to the patient, we are taking care of their BP, we are able to take care of their, what do you say, the blood sugar levels, all these things we are able to do. However, are we able to measure the pain? It's impossible to measure the pain. So how do they measure the pain? They say that we start our interactions with the patient, talking to them. And that's why you will see that interpretivism, discourse analysis, narrative analysis turn out to be the wonderful tools for you in terms of the, I would say, the qualitative analysis that you are taking care of it. Now, for me, whenever I'm talking about any of the person, like I belong to Delhi, and I know that in Delhi there are so many ways in which we can talk to those people. Now in the afternoon I was sharing this particular story again. I don't know how many of you have heard about Prince K Pickles. Now, one of my friend, she asked me, requested me, Ramni, can you go to Khari Bauli, which is a center in Delhi, in Chandni Chowk, and it's known for its spices and everything. She said that I want you to go to this place and get me the Princess Ke Achar from that before I board the flight back to USA. I said, okay, fine, I'll go and get it for you. You do the other work in the meantime. I went over there and I saw, entered the shop, and I saw the entire shop was filled up with the photographs and the certificates in Chandni Chowk area, and it was not a very huge shop, a very narrow kind of a shop which was available. And I saw this person who was the owner. He was a obese person suffering from obesity, and a very popular. His name was Prince. So around 12:30 he came. He entered because I wanted to take the interview from him, and I was writing for as a freelancer writer during my I should say studenthood, to a blog, and they said that we are looking for real time stories if you can collect it in and around. So my friend has sent, so I said, okay, already I'm there, let me take the interview. So I started conversing with him. I said, sir, it's such a wonderful, and I can see that your shop is full of pickles and everything. However, how did you get the idea? Because I saw so many certificates that he's being recognized by Canadian government, American government, and everything. So I was very found to take his interview and get my article published in that blog, so that I can get at least $50, so that I can spend on something else. So when I asked him, he narrated a beautiful story which I could not even think about. I mean, I never thought that, yes, that could be the scenario for them. Now, he said that he was just 3 months old when his parents had to leave Pakistan and come down to Delhi and settle down. Now, they belong to a very elite Punjabi family in from Rawalpindi. Yes, from Rawalpindi. No, they were from Lahore. No, I think he's from Rawalpindi only. Then, he told me that we had to leave everything, and while coming in the car, my mother had to bring only the martaban. Now, all of you should know what a martaban is, and it was a huge martaban, and that martaban is still present in his shop. He showed me, and it was a very in height, I would say, a big martaban, and I never seen such martabans in my life also, side by side. So I looked at him, I said, okay. And mother had somehow managed to place this martaban of achar into the car, and they came back to Delhi, and they were supposed to stay in the tent houses which were given near the Nehru, what it is, near Chandni Chowk, there is this particular area meant only for the the partition individuals migrating to India. Now, one day it happened that his mother saw that there was no salt at the home. So she went to the nearby tent house and she asked the lady, "Can you please give me some salt so that I can complete with my cooking?" So the other lady took the leverage and she had this barter system. She said, "Okay, I will give you the sugar, the salt, and I have seen that you are eating your roti with the achar, and it's been such a long time for us because we did not get anything from Pakistan. So is it possible for you to give us little bit of achar?" Then she said, "Okay, fine." Now that turned out to be the barter system. Slowly, the other people who were present nearby the tent houses started requesting them. So, in small, small katoris, she started selling it and taking it up. And he quoted some amount, which I forgot right now. And he told me that that is how my mother started off with the pickle ka achar. And since I was just 3 months old at that time, my mother later on decided that I will popularize my pickle business with his name. That is the youngest son, whose name was Prince. And he says that slowly she was so popular with her achar and everything that now we have established. No, I was just looking at him. And the way he was telling to me and the number of the certificates that they have, and I said, hats off to you. So that was the story about the pickle man from the Khari Bauli, who had established and a simple thing of exchanging of the things, how it was creative and the way they have taken up. So the entire thing turned out to be like, for me to be writing a narrative story from barter system to a full-fledged I would say a commercial activity of pickling. Now, similarly, if you go to Srinagar, there is another pickle person. He is known as Pickle Wala over there. He's very Pickle Wala Chacha or something like that. And when I went to Srinagar, I observed it. I kept a point that yes, I have to go ahead and meet this person and take a full interview for him and from him. So I have the Prince Wala ka interview. Unfortunately, on that day I could not click the photographs, which I'm thinking now to go back again to him and click as many photographs from him, because he's very good and very friendly person and allows you to click the photograph. However, at Srinagar, I had a tough time because number one, I'm a female. Number two, in Muslims, they don't look at the woman straight onto their faces. So, I was feeling guilty that yes, I recorded the entire thing and his eyes were just he kept on looking at the ground only. So that was the great thing. And again, I saw the entire room, and he's also very popular in saying that wherever the Islamic people are there, especially the Kashmiris who are there, they take the achar and to the other countries also, and they really love them. So he says that I'm planning to come up with my own outlets. So, on one side, you have these individuals who are coming up with their own entrepreneurial work, and then comparatively, I find that there are other industries which have already established. Now, have a look at the history of MDH Pasala Wala. Now, the uncle who died, the Chacha or the Tauji who died very recently due to Corona, the owner of the MDH. Then you have got this Priya, other brands are also there. So, you can go ahead and you can look as to how nicely you can develop your qualitative papers in a different manners. I mean, there are so many stories which are there that can be shared um, when it comes to the qualitative, and I absolutely go mad being a necessary chatterbox, number one. Number two, it is I don't know why I'm so open to the other people, and the other people also turn out to be very open, and they are able to share their experiences and everything. So for me, in that way, writing a qualitative paper, and secondly, I thank my teachers, especially, the moment I was with them, they never stopped me from learning, and never, number two, they never stopped even themselves sharing the knowledge with me. And till now also I see Saunders, when I started interacting with him, he allowed me to attend some of his classes online and even learn these things from them. Same is the case with the Creswell sir or Michael Fetters. They are very, and even Andy Field. Now, for thanks to Neeraj sir, when he, like, in every one of his workshop, he keeps on telling us, read this book by Andy Field. The moment I picked up that particular book, and trust me, it was just those 15 to 20 pages that I'm stuck up with. And immediately I had to write it down to Andy Field, telling him, Andy, you are very clever. You did not explain those things. However, you just went away for other things. And these were like curious question marks for me. So he said, immediately, he is very good in replying back. And he immediately said, Ramani, that was my motive. That was my intention. Because if you are a true researcher, you will definitely go ahead and start looking and being curious to know what exactly it is and how to carry forward. Now, for example, on this particular page, I forgot the page number, unfortunately, he talks about leeches. And in just one small paragraph, and if you have seen his book on discovering statistics, using SPSS, there you will see that book is very thick one. However, the font size that he writes is very, very small. He talks about leeches, he talks about the eyes of the fishes, then he's talking about two more things which are there. And I was amazed. And the moment he talks about the leeches, I myself have to research and to find out how many ways are there that we are able to use. Because as I said, I'm an animal lover. The moment he wrote it down about the leeches, I said, how can that be possible that a person can use a leech in this such a weird manner? So I have to do my own research, and then I started looking how the leeches were used in ancient Greek times, then how Persians used it. Then I came across in one of the blogs wherein it was written by someone called Mr. Shah, who says that you come to Hazrat Ganj, which is a big mosque in Kashmir and Srinagar especially, and there you will find this old man sitting with all varieties of leeches, and all the men are around him, and the way he uses the leeches to cure the diseases. I got a shock of my life. I said, a leech and to cure a disease? And we have got so many doctors are there, leaving the doctors. Why the hell a person is going to a leech? Basically, then I read another paper. It was from the medical field, wherein they said that leeches are used for abortions. Now, in ancient days, then I was thinking, are they using still in the contemporary times also? Then I saw that yes, among the tribal people in Karnataka and Kerala, on the borders of it, there are these women who are using it basically. So I wrote down to Andy saying that, see, this is what you have done, and thank you. And he said that, show me the paper, final, the product that you have completely written on leeches. So when I showed him, he was happy. He said that, okay, you have done a lot of work on leeches, now you have become. I said, it's not a question of becoming an expert about leeches. Go to YouTube and you will find it out how to look, make yourself beautiful. A leech is being used. Now I was amazed, and I was thinking that, okay, and then I learned a lot about them. So there are a lot of things which are available. Similarly, he talks about the eyes of the fishes. He says that, I have never seen anybody eating the eyes of the fishes. Now that was like a big curiosity for me, because coming from India, I know a lot of mythological stories are there. One is the popular one by Arjun, where he has to hit deep into the eye of the fish, and that was also moving continuously in the Akash in order to marry Draupadi. And why Krishna always talks about that this thing has to be there. Now, similarly, when I looked upon and started looking at YouTube videos as to how many people are eating the ice, and then I started asking the people who really consume the fishes as in their food, and I asked them, or do you eat the ice? And surprisingly, I found out that 99.99 individuals, they do not eat the ice of the fish. However, if you compare it again with the fish ice, with the goat ice, now you go to Mumbai and the entire lane is there, and I was amazed to find out the way, during the Ramzan month or during the Eid, when they are sacrificing those goats and lambs, they are even preparing the dishes with the ice, and that's a delicacy for them. Now, you see, if you go and talk to the Arabs, they are also into those kind of activities which are present. So, you can do the comparative work. You are able to understand the cultures. Today, when I was discussing about this thing only, if you will remember, here I said that the belief system is existing out here. The belief system which is there, it talks about your cultures, your backgrounds, and where you're coming in. So similarly, eating of the fishes. If you are on Facebook, go to Chopstick. Now, the brother and sister, they are moving from one corner of the earth to the other corner of the earth, and they are only tasting the food, enjoying it. And one of the episodes talks about the eyes of the fishes, and they say that here people are eating the live fishes also side by side. And there was a comment given, I think it was in Korea or China, when they are going over there, and then they were able to find it out, basically that yes, this is what it was, kind of a thing, with the eyes. So when you are reading these kind of books on statistics, and or let's say some research methodology, don't take them very lightly. You don't know, you can come up with wonderful scenarios. And I'm telling you that does the leeches and the eyes of the fishes, forget about the other two animals that he has mentioned. I started doing initial work, and then I don't know where I have reached now. So I told him, you are the culprit, who made me write and even to present these kind of an research things also side by side. So even I'm sharing it this one, so that I don't know what kind of a creativity is there in each one of you, and how you are going to use these things into your own research areas also side by side. So I think with this, I'm going to end up today's session. Tomorrow's session, again, it would be a lot of discussion on things which are there. This entire week, I'm planning to do a little bit of theoretical groundwork, along with sharing of the softwares, most probably from day after tomorrow, for each one of you. So whosoever is present over here, and if you are still awake like me, kindly go ahead and put your attendance, just write down your name, so that it is getting recorded and it becomes easier for us to take care of these things also. I would appreciate it. So Vaishali, if you are still there, you can go ahead and write your name. Mazia, you can write your name. Mayank has done. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. You have given us so much of time till 12:40 out here, and I think I'll be seeing you people tomorrow again. And I hope you have enjoyed this session also side by side. All right, Karan, can you please go ahead and write your name? Thank you, Vaishali. Thank you, Sanjana. Then Mazia, you can also give us.
Ma'am, I'm there, but I'm not able to type. Somehow the option is not coming. I'm there.
Okay, no worries. I'll just write it down your name, Mazia Khan. Here you go about. And Karan and Mayank, both of you are there. Karan,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, Mayank, you can just write it down so that it gets recorded. And
I had
Karan,
written them.
okay,
I
you
had
have
written my
done,
name.
Mayank. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So tomorrow again, I would be yes, Rajesh sir. It's a complete, and that is the reason why I have included it and into my workshop. And then I'll be progressing further. You will be able to understand what is the importance about all these things also, sir. So that is it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And yes, you were more into quantitative, and now you are entering into qualitative also. Yes, sir. I know, and with the right kind of a person also side by side into it. So I will be again starting my first session tomorrow in the morning at 10 o'clock. 10 to 12, 12:30 to 2:30, then again 8 o'clock, and then 10:30 in the night again. Till then, thank you, and I'll catch you up again tomorrow. Thanks a lot, and good night. Take care. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, bye, Mayank.